Reciprocal love. What does that mean to you? Does it mean, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I did something wonderful for you, so now you're going to do something wonderful to me. That's human. That's natural. How good is that? It depends. In the beginning of chapter 46, the Alter Rebbe shares with us there's another straight way, simple, straightforward, and equally applicable and suitable for every individual. And this matter is very, very close to us. It's a simple technique that's uncomplicated, that can arouse and kindle the light and the love that's implanted and concealed in our very heart, in our very soul. And that it should shine forth, that love, in a real way, in our hearts, and at least in our minds. That we are ready to give ourselves over completely to serve, rather than being served, to serve the Almighty, to serve God with everything that we've got, with body and soul, with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. Whatever we've got, we're ready to do it, and to do it in absolute truth. Especially when in prayer, especially when we're saying the Shema, that we're bringing the oneness of God at that moment. What are we talking about? How do we do that? How do we reveal such a deep, profound love? King Solomon says, as water mirrors the face to the face, so does the heart of a person to another person. What does that mean? What we show another person is what's reflected back to us. Right? You look in the mirror, what you see is what you get. You smile, guess what? You get a smile back. You frown, you get a frown back. So indeed is the heart of an individual. When you show to another person affection, you show a smile, what will that do? Awaken a response from that individual, from their heart, a smile back, affection back. That feeling will be reflected back to you. That's especially so if it's a good friend, because that's the common nature, the character of an individual. Reflect back to someone who's a good friend. Their expression to you, you reflect it back to them. How much more so is the metaphor the Alter Rebbe shares with us in the case of a great and mighty king who rules over many lands, displays his great and intense love for a commoner, who, this commoner, is despised and a lowly individual, living in disgrace on a dunghill. Yet, this king, this mighty king, comes with his entire retinue, with all of his loyal servants and ministers. They leave the palace and they come to this dunghill where they find this simple commoner. And what does the king do in this metaphor? Takes the commoner from the dunghill, brings him into royal palace, brings him into the innermost chamber where even the servants and great ministers don't go. And he shares with this commoner the closest companionship with mutual embrace and kiss, with a whole heart and with a whole soul. What would the response be of this commoner? Of course, the commoner would be aroused with a doubled and a redoubled love towards the king. Oh, wow, you show me such love. I will reflect that back. I will reciprocate that love. Even if a person has a heart of stone, but this was what was done for them, of course they would reciprocate to the king. Great love back to them. This is the metaphor, a beautiful metaphor that we will unpack in tomorrow's class. What that means. Not just tomorrow's class is going to be for a few classes. We're going to unpack this beautiful metaphor. Not going to do that now because that would take away from tomorrow's class. Yes, leave you in suspense. That's wonderful. The edge of your seat. Amazing. Will you come back to the cliffhanger? I'm sure you will. All right. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts? Davida, if Hashem has compassion on Rachel as she is crying for Klal Yisrael, would he bring Mashiach before or even now? Absolutely. Yep, for sure. So Laurie, in the metaphor, the king put the person on the dunghill. Why? All right, Laurie, good one. You have to come back. Good. Yep. Any other questions? 2 question marks before you ask a question, so it's easy to notice that you got a question. Joseph, does the love of the first person have to be reciprocated? What do you mean the first person? You mean the person who's on the dunghill? I mean, just meditate for a moment, folks. Imagine, you were, as the description here is, living on a dunghill, homeless. Not just homeless, but on a dunghill. And this great individual comes and takes you and doesn't bring you, to a housing project, doesn't bring you to, bed somewhere else, which would be kind enough if they did that. You'd be very thankful to that individual. And they bring you into their home, not just into their home. Oh. Wow, Laurie, I think I have another understanding of what we spoke on TRC last week, a week ago. Huh. Wow. So, the point over here is, if you had a heart of stone and this person brought you into their home and showed you great loving kindness, how would you not but reciprocate and reflect back, mirror back loving kindness to that person? Of course you would. Even if you have a heart of stone. Trying to figure that from our last week's TRC to fit that in, but we will. All right, thank you, Pam. Pam can't wait. All right, great. All right, more to come. Amazing. Rambam is now to come. We're going to learn the laws of what it means to be a mensch, to be decent. All right. Any other? Reminder, 6:30 tonight will be Torah studies. That will be on Zoom and on Facebook, Chabad ZK. And at 8 o'clock will be TRC. For those who haven't yet had the opportunity to join TRC, if you're interested, let me know. It's a beautiful community that allows us to really grow. You have a quick question, Davida? I don't see it. Oh. What happens if you give a person compassion and they turn you away more than once? Good question. Compassion means the way you are feeling about that person. That doesn't mean you necessarily did something. What you do and what you feel may not. You feel compassion. This person is, my gosh, they're living in a dunghill. They are like really whatever. And you have compassion. And not necessarily does that mean you do something. As a matter of fact, there's someone in my community who is acting not appropriate. And the person's not, their pride is not allowing them to humble themselves. Arachman is, I have compassion, but there's nothing I can do. Person's not ready to hear, tried, not ready. But I could look at that person and just say, stupid idiot. Full of pride. Destroying yourself. There's a truth to that. Or have compassion. Oh, this person has a blind spot. We all have a blind spot. This person has a blind spot and can't see the destructiveness of their pride. So I have compassion. That doesn't mean I'm doing something about it, but the way I'm looking at that person's with compassion. So that way I can redeem the love and still love their neshama, their soul, and yet doesn't mean I'm necessarily doing anything, because sometimes You create boundaries, and there's nothing you can do. Alice, please send me an email TRC. Yeah, you haven't gotten one? Okay, will do. Should have. All right, folks. Rambam coming up. A reminder. Again, 6:30 tonight and 8 p.m. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zurich in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you, Tanya. Have an amazing day.